And welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys are just tuning into this channel for the first time, I'm Chakits Kruksawat with Simply Vegas, the host of the LV Home Experts Radio Show. And today, again and again, every single Wednesday, the man, the myth, the legend, when it comes to financing, the gurus of all gurus is Dan French with Guaranteed Rate. What up, my man?
What up?
How's everything going?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Life is amazing.
So today we have a very special guest. This guy is a stud coming up in the real estate industry when it comes to new homes construction. So on today's podcast, we're going to talk about new home construction, what's going on in the marketplace, how to actually buy new construction, because it's not the same, right? It's very hard, right? The process is completely different from one state to another. Our special guest, Danny Lash. Damn, that sounds good. What up, my man?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. Dude, you're looking sharp today, man.
Appreciate it. I'm just trying to blend in with the couch.
Oh, you know what? I've was looking at some of your Instagram stuff and your Facebook. I noticed you're top tier, man. What's going on with that? You're looking sharp, man.
Appreciate it. I think, it comes with the business.
Yeah.
Right? You need to look good. You need to feel good, right? You're dealing with other people, their finances. So you have to be your best.
Yeah.
And I believe that when you leave your house, you got to be the best.
You got to be the best. I like that.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How long have you been in the industry?
So licensed as a real estate agent, almost 3 years.
Okay.
But I've been dabbling in real estate, like investment-wise, for about 6 or 7 years now altogether.
Okay. So you started off buying investment properties, or what'd you do?
Yes, me and my buddy were just kind of, looking for cash flow properties, multifamilies, right? Things you see on the internet. Hey, let's try the Burr method. Let's try this. Let's try that. Bought a property, out of state. I was in New York back then.
Okay.
Bought a property out of state. Didn't really cash flow that well. We didn't really know what we were doing. First deal kind of fell apart. Made a little borderline money.
Okay.
And got out.
Got out. Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay. And what made you get into real estate?
Man, I love homes. And when I purchased my first home for myself, I noticed that the real estate agent that I had could have done such a better job.
Wait, are you calling your agent out right now?
I am. 100%. When
hopefully she doesn't watch, or he or she doesn't watch this channel.
I hope he does, so that he can do better next time.
I hit the wrong button. It should have been this.
Right?
That's crazy. So what was it about that agent? Like, what did they do for you to say, you know what? Maybe I'm going to get into the business because I know that I could do a lot better. Like, what was that? And what were the changes that you thought that you could do better?
So number one, I think that's one of the most important things is communication.
Yeah.
If you're communicating with your client sufficiently, that client's going to be happy, even if they perhaps didn't get the price they wanted, the upgrade they wanted, whatever it is. If you're there for them all the time, that client's going to be happy. They're going to believe in you. They're going to send you more business. My agent didn't really do that. Right? If I put in an offer, he sends me like the contract.
Yeah.
Doesn't walk me through it. Doesn't explain anything. Doesn't tell me anything. Like, here you go, sign this, send it back.
Yeah.
Dude.
What am I signing, right?
Right.
I mean, you're going to want to know what you're signing.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that separates. It's the details.
Right.
I'm a big advocate for that as far as like communication. Communication is key. And you know how big I'm about communication.
Oh, yeah. It's one of your biggest pet peeves.
You got to be very transparent.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because it really takes the liability off of you, puts the liability on the buyer or the seller. So now they know what's going on and they make the final decision. You're not making that decision for them.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Correct. I feel that, from the first house that I sold, it was all about, let's treat this client the way I would treat, my mother if she was buying a house, right? Or a close family member, right? How often are you going to communicate with a close family member about details of the house?
Yeah.
All the time. You're going to call them, text them, hey, everything's okay, everything is this, we need that, and you're going to care.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to find them what they want, you're going to go the extra mile, and that's what it is, right? That's kind of my motto. My next client is, again, my mother, right? Who I'm going to help no matter what, I'm going to go the extra mile, right? So when an agent doesn't treat me with priority, it doesn't give me details, doesn't communicate with me, why am I doing business with you?
Okay. Now, do you treat the client the same way if it was $50,000 versus a $3 million deal?
Absolutely, you have to.
All right. I wanted to test you to see if you're going to answer that question. So I want to get into new construction because you do also have a YouTube channel too as well. I will have a link in the description below. You do a bunch of video tours here and also in California.
Yes.
So your primary niche is new homes. Is that correct?
Primary niche is new homes, yes.
Okay. Let's talk about new homes a little bit. Okay. Before we get into the process of new homes, what's going on with new home construction right now in Vegas?
So right now it's extremely busy, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
A year or two ago, it was pretty easy to buy a new home. You come in, you pick a lot, right? There's a lot of flexibility. You get to choose things. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, depending on the builder, you're coming in and you're on a wait list,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's best case scenario that you're waiting 2 months, 3 months just to get a phone call. Hey, we have something available,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then there's, there are builders that just draw names out of a hat.
Yeah.
Right? Could be you next week, could be you 6 months from now. You never know.
Now, is that what you're seeing with all the builders across the board right now, where everybody has a waiting list?
Let's say all the good builders. I don't want to mention any names of builders that I like less than average.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything is really, really, slammed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You better start answering, ask some questions here, Dan. What are you doing? You're supposed to be the co-host, man.
I am, man. I'm listening.
Damn, back me up. I don't have no more questions to ask.
Well, I think you look at these lot premiums, or they're starting to come down, right? Would you think? I mean, Summerlin's still out of this world, but
right. Summerlin is what, the third greatest master plan community in all of the United States.
Yeah, it's top 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So I read it was top 3. Maybe it's top 5.
It is top. It's top 3.
Right.
You're correct.
And I think the first 2 are in Florida. So
yeah.
If you're trying to move to Vegas, you want to be in Summerlin, right? And they're obviously not building enough. So
I got some hot spots. Maybe I can just bring up. You guys can maybe elaborate. So it's Vista Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Inspirata, Cadence,
yes,
Summerlin,
yes,
right? There was one more. Is there another place that you guys know?
So just to clarify what Dan is saying, he's talking about master plan communities right now, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a 5th one though, wasn't there? Isn't there like
Sky Canyon?
Sky Canyon.
Yeah.
yes.
So are those things are they really starting to scale back a little bit, or is it still just hot as ever?
I see it as hot as ever. Maybe in the last couple of months, just now, it's maybe a little less volume, but there's still people, waiting for months and months just to maybe get a lot.
Yeah.
Is that discouraging though? I mean, it's like, I feel like if it's like, okay, you're 12 months out, do you want to wait that long?
It depends on the client and what the client needs, right? If we're trying to move within the next couple of months, that's probably not something that they're gonna want.
So would you send them to new homes, or do you also see if there's like standing inventory for like new homes?
Right. So what we're usually accustomed to is standing inventory, right? Move-in ready homes, or maybe one that's like a month or 2 out. Right now, most of the good ones are gone.
Yeah.
Right. People are buying them in cash for over asking price.
Yeah.
So you don't really have too many options now, right? So then you start looking at resale homes and you realize that there's a big lack of listings there as well.
Now, lot premiums. What are you seeing like the average lot premiums in Summerlin?
Summerlin, really depends on the range of the house, right? So the Toll Brothers and Mesa Ridge, that's up there.
Yeah.
That's really up there. If you're looking at, the Lennars in Stonebridge and stuff like that, those are a lot less.
Okay.
So it really varies depending on the builder and
you're absolutely right, because I literally just went into contract with Mesa Ridge, and we actually had to do a bid, and it was like over $100,000 just on a lot. Now, last week I went into another contract over there in Red Point, which is the new villa in Summerlin, right? Or new village in Summerlin. And we paid $75,000 just for a lot.
Wow.
And it didn't have a view. Imagine paying $75,000 for a piece of dirt. And we're talking about a piece of dirt that's 40 by 100. That's only 4,000 square feet lot.
That's crazy.
That's insane, dude.
Now, I've heard premiums up to like 230, 240, 250. Does that happen?
I've seen lot premiums up to $1 million, dude.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. And people are just like, hey, whatever it is, whatever it takes.
Well, for some people, of course, it's a shock. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm paying this, on top of the house price.
Mhm.
That's a lot, right? But when you really look at it and you think about what your other options are, you realize that this is what you have to do. Right?
Now, why do you think the reason is that home pricing for new homes and the waiting list is so long?
The reason why it's so long, well, I feel like America as a whole hasn't been putting in new construction homes
Yeah.
as fast as we used to in the beginning of this century,
Yeah.
right? So we obviously used to build a whole lot,
Yeah.
Great Recession,
Mm-hmm.
and then building slowed down a lot,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like right now we're just not building fast enough
Yeah.
for the amount of demand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really hard to foresee this demand because you have so many people, probably 40% of them are from California,
Yeah.
coming here because it's dirt cheap for them still, right? So I have just had a guy in Fairway Hills, Toll Brothers. Remember those condos
Yeah.
up there in Summerlin?
Yeah.
He purchased one of the last ones,
Okay.
right, in cash. And for him, he was happy. He didn't have any problems with the price, the process, anything,
Yeah.
because the amount of money he's saving just in state tax by moving his business here from California
Mm-hmm.
almost pays for the whole house.
Which makes sense financially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's really what I see a lot is Californian entrepreneurs
Yeah.
coming here and saying, why am I living in LA? Why am I paying that when I can live here?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Rent that place out,
Yeah.
get the income, and live, so much cheaper here.
Now, you mentioned that there's a waiting list on some builders. So that tells me it really comes down to a certain price point where you're probably going to be on a waiting list, right? Where's majority of your buyers buying at? Like, at what price point? Like, where's that, like, very tough, aggressive market to really get into a new homes?
I want to say around the 400 area.
Mm-hmm.
That 400,000 area is really tough because I feel like that's the majority of the buyers right now.
Yeah.
They're shooting around the upper threes, lower fours,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really tough to get a deal done.
Yeah.
Even in resale homes right now, I feel like.
I've also noticed just like at that price point, you can't really be too picky, but clients that I talk to, the first thing that comes out is, I want a brand new home. But a lot of consumers just don't realize how much does it really cost, right, to build a home, all the things that are involved, and they think that you can really get everything that you see, especially like in your videos, right? Those are just model homes with fully upgraded stuff. Obviously, you're going to have to break it to them, hey, this is just the base price. But when they start to realize that this is going to cost a lot more
Yeah.
than what I expected, realization starts to kind of hit in, right? Because you can build a home possibly at that price you're looking at, but it's nowhere near close to what that model looks like.
Well, I think builders they're obviously there to make money.
Yeah.
Right. And so part of that, what you said is true. In my opinion, like, I think that's true. I think there's material costs. There's things that the skilled labor, it's not there, especially pre-COVID. It was there. Now it's not, I feel.
Yeah.
I also feel it's a strategic thing too, a little bit. Maybe you can elaborate. Do you think that they're doing this because they want to, get the highest value or the highest amount, really slow down that process? And then it obviously supply and demand, as you always bring up, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they look at it and go, you know what? We're not going to overbuild like we did in 2007-8, right? And also what's our benefit is that we're going through a pandemic, or we're kind of coming out of one. So you look at the whole situation. Maybe they're strategically slowly bringing these homes on because look at these lot premiums.
Sure.
If you had enough properties in the market, would
Yeah.
you be able to sell a lot premium like that?
Mm-hmm. That's
Very
a good point.
Great point. And yes, it might be a strategic move, but you also have to consider the fact that I feel like a lot of the builders are taking most of the risk as well.
Yeah.
With lumber prices, 4 times more than they were 2 years ago, they're the ones taking the risk, right? Lumber prices it was crazy. Even 6 months ago, it was crazy. So they're exposed to a lot of risk. And for that, they have the right to slowly build, not take too much more risk, not overbuild lots, so they can make some of that money back.
I would have to really agree with you because there's a report that I pulled up here. According to the builder's report on the shortage here, let me show you guys here. So this is 2020 2020 versus 2021. So if you look at the OBS, and this is just the wood, right? The majority of the homes is built with wood. It's gone up 9%. But from year to date right now, it's 92%. I mean, this is a 83% difference. Plywood, 90%, right? Framing lumber, 94%. Copper wiring, right? 77%. I mean, this list goes on and on. So I understand why, the cost of homes are a little bit more.
Well, I just want to say this. Like, so I've also seen that there's things out there that say they pass the cost to the consumer. Maybe not all of it, but you also have people that are in the market right now that if one falls out, like I got a builder right now, right? And they're like, hey, we got to close this thing, maybe because they want to make numbers. We're going to pull it. We're going to, charge this borrower some money. But, even if they have a situation where it did fall out, do they have buyers right behind them that's going to come in and just walk right in and take over? And I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying there's probably things that got plan B and plan C in place to maybe limit the cost or maybe limit the problem that they might have, because they know, like, this market, they can get anybody for the most part. You can get somebody in there pretty quick, get that property sold. Is that, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, they can kind of control the market and dictate it a little bit, but also it depending on that builder's niche and the price point, because there's a builder right now that really focuses on around like the 350 to the 450 range. That's a very tough market, and there's a waiting list just for that builder, which is, it's a great niche for that builder. But then you can deal with a builder that's around, 600 to 900. But if you look right now, there's a bunch of standing inventory, and there's builders right now. Three weeks ago, you literally got co-op 0%. Now I'm getting a bunch of emails. Hey, will you pitch our product? We'll give you 3%.
I see.
So it really it's very nichey, right? It depends on the demographics of the income level. It depends on the location too as well. Like, I can literally take you to a track right now.
That makes
sense. We can literally go under contract.
Yeah.
So it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, you think.
But I know what builder you're talking about, where you got to wait on a list. You got to pull a number. You got to do the bidding. Like, I literally had one. I'm not going to mention who the builder is, but a lot of people follow this builder from my channel, right? And it's one of those luxury builders where they build modern homes. We went under contract on a home, right, about 3 months ago, and it was for like $2.3 million. I literally got in an addendum back for a price reduction off the base price for about like $150,000.
Wow.
Because that builder raised the price so high during, a couple months ago when it was like feast or famine. Everybody was trying to get a home, right? So the builders are like, whoa, nobody's buying our product now at this top tier level. It doesn't make any sense. So we literally got an addendum for $150,000 off the base price.
They tapped out.
Well, they didn't even tap out. They just said, hey, you know what? We're going to have to do a price reduction. We didn't even request it. I just got the email with the addendum. I'm like, wait, is this a mistake? But they raised the price so fast.
Yeah, but you think it's because it's peaked. Maybe you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So do I think prices have peaked? I personally don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you have interest rates going higher or the problems in China getting crazy.
Well, I want to retract from that. Okay, I want to kind of give you a rebuttal. From what I see, it really depends on the demographics of the price point. Like, if it's on a higher price point, yes, I see that they're starting to slow down. But if we're at that 450, that sweet spot, because remember, the average household income here is what, like 58,000. 58,000, you're not buying a $2 million home. So again, the majority of your buyers are at that price point. That's where the competitive is. And I agree with you on that. But I would have to disagree with you when we're at that 2 million range. However, there are brand new homes. There are resale homes, right, that are comped correctly, priced correctly, snatched up like this within like 8 days. Because of California, right? Their pricing, 1.2, that's nothing. For us, that's everything. They come out here, they buy 1.2 like it's nothing. So I think that niche, right, those are moving fast. But when you start hitting that 2.3, 2.5, it's a whole different story. Yeah. But yeah, this ain't about me. I'm sorry. I'm taking all the luster, man.
No. I mean, it's all,
but this is great information.
Right.
Okay. But I want to get into the process of buying a new home.
Right.
Okay. I'm a guy that calls you, yo, Danny, I love your videos, bro. I want to work with you. I want to buy a new home. How does this work? So walk me through the process when somebody calls you.
Gotcha. Well, there are many jobs that you have as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
right? And I feel like your first job before a person is pre-approved or qualified for a particular amount, your job is to be a teacher,
Okay.
right? You're the guide, the teacher. You're just teaching.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that from you. Go ahead.
Go for it. And you're basically trying to give as much information for a person to make an informed decision as possible,
Okay.
right? So what I want to do is explain the process inside and out, what you can expect when,
Yeah.
how to go about it, and if there are any other team members that we need to add,
Yeah.
like a lender, right? So we're going to discuss that as well. Hey, is anybody in your family a lender or in finance?
Yeah.
No, cool. You know, I have a couple of guys that I can refer you to. Let's start there, right? Because what you want to start with is you want to find out, you know, what the price point is, what you can afford comfortably, right? I don't want to show you a $700,000 house, get you to fall in love with it, and then find out we're only pre-approved for $550.
Well, Danny, let me give you this rebuttal. Hey, man, I got great credit, man. I got an 800 credit score, man.
Sure.
I have no debt, man. I really want to go look at this home. I want to go look at the home first. Then I'll write an offer. How do you overcome that objection?
So for me, it's not necessarily an objection because for the first time somebody wants to see a home, whether it's a new one, a resale, a condo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That first meeting, I will go and show you whatever you want to see.
Okay.
Because to me, that's a buyer consultation in person.
Ooh, like
right?
that.
So
like
we can talk on the phone, and maybe you like me, maybe you don't. Maybe you call a different agent, and you buy with them. But if you meet me and we gel and we get along, a couple of jokes, you like what I do, you like my knowledge, and we want to work together, I feel like that's more of it's a better relationship, right? So you trust me with things that you may have not trusted me just from my videos.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know problems are coming up. Whether it's a resale or a new home, there's going to be problems. This isn't done, that's not done. A million problems, and you need somebody to go to bat for you and take care of those problems.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that's why people use me as their real estate agent because, right, let's say you are from California and, you know, it's a circus over here with the builder. You need somebody to make those calls, the hard calls to, hey, we need this, we need that, you got to fix this. Right. And it's a lot of things that, you know, especially if you're not here, you feel powerless and helpless.
Correct.
So you need somebody there to go to bat for you.
Okay. So now that you get approved with Dan,
yes,
you get that approval letter. You better start using this guy.
Right.
I like
So now that you get approved with Dan, right?
Yeah.
Would you recommend your client also get approved with the builder too as well?
So for some builders, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen, if you want to put in an offer, you have to get a soft hit from their lender.
Why is that?
I can't tell you why. I've never worked for those, you know, builders or, you know, I don't necessarily know why they make you do it, but I feel like they need to know that you're serious.
Yes.
Right? Because there's so much volume right now. They need to know who's ready.
Yeah, you're a solid buyer. You can get this deal done.
Exactly.
And obviously, they're trying to earn your business too as well.
Also true.
So now, let's just say your buyer, right, is approved with Dan. You guys go look at homes. They fall in love with a home. Okay. Walk us through that process now. Like, what is the next step when I love this builder, I want to buy now? Like, where do we go from here?
Gotcha. So after the pre-approval, you want to pick the floor plan.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say we found the perfect floor plan. We found the perfect builder. We want this. Right? So now we're going to go there. We're going to look at lots. We're going to see when lots are getting released. Is this the kind of lot you want? You want something bigger, something smaller? What's available? What can we do?
Yeah.
Right? And you start kind of niching down to what's most important for that buyer. Right? Because obviously, even, you know, videos are not, a buyer comes in and sees the models. I want this, I want that, I want this upgrade, I want this upgrade, I want this upgrade.
Yeah. Right?
And then all of a sudden your budget is stretched, and what the pre-approval says might not match what you like. Right?
Has that happened before?
Has it ever not?
Right?
Right? So the biggest issue there is appraisal too. Right? So I don't have anything against you getting all the upgrades you want.
Yeah.
But that house might not appraise correctly, and you might have to put some extra cash out of your pocket.
Okay.
Right? Are you ready for that?
Okay.
Some people are not, right? So you have to explain, like, every little step. You have to go through it. You have to make sure people know their finances in and out.
So is that something that you do as far as when you're running the numbers, you want to make sure for your client that the home will appraise, so that way they don't have to come out of pocket.
That's the best, right? I do my best to do that, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I won't know the price of particular upgrades, so I have to make phone calls.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna have to ask, the sales office. I'm gonna have to ask a few other agents that recently bought there. I'm gonna do a little price comparison. I'm gonna do a lot more work than what your usual agent. Hell, I call the sales office, call you back in 5 minutes. That's too easy.
Okay.
Right. You really got to dig deep and see where you can win, where those extra inches are that are advantages versus disadvantages.
Okay. Now let's just say they already found the lot, they already found the model. Okay. Now they're going through the process. Like, what's the next step from there at this point? Let's just say this is the model, this is what I want.
Right.
So you go through a structural build, right?
Yes.
So do you, as an agent, do you walk your clients through suggestions, or you just kind of like let them pick what they want to pick?
So it depends on the client.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes clients are, let's say, a dominating force in what they want.
Yeah.
Right. Because half of the cool thing about buying a new home is that you get to choose everything. Right.
Yeah.
You get to be creative. You get to pick this and pick that. So a lot of the time, somebody will come in and kind of know what they want. Hey, I want hardwood floors. I want this here. I want this here. This kind of kitchen. This kind of laundry room. So to me, that's the easy part. You guys know what's going on. You guys know what you want. It's just a matter of getting you ready for, actually picking the materials.
Yeah.
Right. And sitting with a professional to really map it out. And you have probably like a month to do this.
Yeah.
Right. After the deposit. So you kind of have to rush it a little bit, but you also have to concentrate on making good decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
So when a consumer comes to you and says, look, I only have a budget of 30,000.
Yeah.
Do you take that into consideration as walking them through the process? Because for me, what I realize is that when a client has a certain amount of a budget, we have to spend that money wisely. It's, do you throw $30,000 on the floor, or do you put $30,000 on electrical, right? And the way I look at it is, I always come in from a third perspective as a investor, because I'm always looking at the resale. I never get emotionally involved. Is that something that you do?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
Right.
So it depends on the client, you're saying?
It does depend on the client.
Okay.
Sometimes people buy that home and they just, the value for them of that home is having exactly what they want. Right. If I tell them, hey, you can get those floors cheaper elsewhere if you don't use the builder and you use somebody else, they might take that into consideration. But sometimes I just want it done right now. Before I move from wherever I'm moving, I just want it ready.
Yeah.
Right. So for some people, a budget isn't that big of a deal. For people with a budget that do have questions, hey, should I do this now? Should I do this later? Etc. That's when you kind of really try to slice and dice, right? And say, these certain things you have to do with the builder, but there are other things that you don't.
Yeah.
Right. So if you call somebody else and get that done after your house closes, it might save you $1 or $2.
Okay, so talking about saving $1 or $2, what are some of the items that I should have the builder do versus me doing it alone on the outside through a third-party company?
So, I mean, things that, as easy as flooring.
Yeah.
If you want some extravagant flooring, that builder is going to really charge you for it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
typically about 30% more.
Correct. So what I see, or, my suggestion is sometimes, hey, just go with the regular.
Yeah.
Right? The lowest price flooring, and then we're going to redo the flooring. Right? So because you're going to save money, but it's going to cost you time. Right? There's going to be some dust in your house after you close.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have to do the flooring and everything. So it's a give and take.
Okay.
Right? So that's, flooring is one. Sometimes, kitchens, it really depends on what kind of materials you want.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want something really plain, go with the builder, get it done, get it over with. If you have something very specific, you want limestone or whatever it is, use a different expert, because that builder is going to charge you for convenience.
Well, here's the thing. Hold on. Yeah, baby. VegasCoins.com, $7.77. Please keep up the update on the Boxable when you get another chance to make the Chakits 2.0 video. That's right. We will do another boxable video. Matter of fact, the I think it was a warehouse is actually complete and they are starting to move forward. So we will do another video. Thank you for the $7.77 super chat. Now, where was I?
Well, Danny, I got a question, man, on that. So if you're buying a new home, right, you want to just get into the property, you might not want to go over what the value is, because you think like the appraisal, like for the most part, the appraisal comes in, but there has been issues with me that every so often the upgrades do kind of go out of whack a little bit, and then the appraisal doesn't come in. They got to come out of pocket. But if you're buying a new home, right, and you're looking at upgrades, you're looking at, I want it, just like you said, the part of it, half of that is I can choose what I want. Would you still advise them though, like, hey, you know what, it's going to cost you a little bit more, just go ahead and do it if it's that type of client? Because I'm sure these clients like a case by case, right? It's not. Yes. Because like some people will be like, you know what, I'm just happy to get into a brand new home. But for me, I'm sitting there going, well, if I'm going to buy a brand new, I want to get top end or high end of whatever it is, and then just get it done. That's just my preference. So do you have different types of clients, I'm sure, that are okay with that, but then they're like, nah, you know what, whatever the cost is, let's just do it, you know?
Right. So it does depend on the client, right? So from my experience, you know, if your California clients that feel like prices are cheap here compared to California, for them it's a matter of just get it done, right? Because they want to move and they want something move-in ready. It's the way I like it. You know, I'm going to move in, I'm going to call, you know, a shutter place, I'm going to call this, I'm going to call that, get everything done within a week, and then, you know, they're up and running. They don't have time to waste. They don't have time for their floors to be you know, changed, rip the carpet out, put in new floors. They don't have time. They're busy. Yeah. Right. They have their own things. They can make the money that they spend in a day from just working.
So now, would you recommend a home inspection for a brand new home?
Every single time.
Yeah.
I recommend it twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
It's a great question, because even if it's a new home, that doesn't mean it's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
That's because they slap this stuff together, and that's why.
Not always, right?
I'm like, what the hell is this?
But you know, you do final walkthroughs, and there's still, hey, we gotta address this. We gotta fix this. The water isn't working here. You gotta, you know, there's a lot of different small things.
Well, you think when you build a brand new home, and a lot of consumers think it's a brand new home, there's nothing wrong, but it's like every home that I built, there's some sort of problem with the quality of the work or the attention to detail. And I think what I'm getting at here is that the builder is not physically building the home. The builder has a superintendent that oversees, right, subcontractors to build your home.
And sometimes they're replaced in the middle
yes.
of doing the home. So you might want to say, hey, wait, what happened to, you know, Joe Doe over here? He's gone? Exactly. What happened, man? Where did he go?
Hey, you guys ever seen Eddie Murphy Coming to America, where he walks into that mansion like he was a superintendent, he shuts it down? That's like the same situation. Hey guys, what's going on? Shut it down. Let's go.
You're right.
So with this home inspection, right?
That's
You
funny.
you mentioned you do it once or twice. What do you mean by once or twice? You actually get 2 home inspections?
No, I don't mean I get 2 home inspections, but I tell you twice to get one.
Yeah.
Right. So just because I told you, hey, you need a home inspection, doesn't mean I forget tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to call you. Hey, did you find an inspector?
Yeah.
No. What's going on? Let's go. Let's get on it. It's very important.
Okay.
Because the last thing you want, or the last thing I want, is for you to live in this house for 2 months.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong, and guess who's to blame?
Oh, that's not good.
Right. I'm the first phone call. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm trying to be preventive. Because it's not just cosmetic, right? Like cosmetic is easy. You'll see something, hey, we need to fix this.
Yeah.
But what's behind the wall, you don't always see.
Yeah.
So the good thing is when you buy a brand new home, you get warranties, right? So something goes wrong here or there, you're covered, right?
Yeah.
So breathe easy. Don't worry. You don't just get thrown in the ocean and, you know, you the sink or swim. There's obviously help afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, you see horror stories once in a while, right? Somebody will say, hey, yeah, I bought a new home. It's a disaster, etc. Okay, listen, call your agent. Oh, you decided to do this yourself, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's harder, right? This is why we're here, right? Nobody's paying us out of pocket. No buyer is giving you a percentage of the sales price, right? You're paid by the builder.
Yeah.
Right. So the service to your buyer that you provide is basically free, right? To get an expert to get your back. And that should happen every time.
That's crazy. I agree with that. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I concur. I mean,
would you get a home inspection?
Yeah, I think it takes if you're a real estate agent, it takes the liability from you for one, like you said, and then also two, you got it in writing. That's your document in proof that says, hey, look, I need to go to the builder and give this to them and say, look, this is a licensed inspector. They're saying there's some issues. You need to fix it. Because I think everybody goes and thinks like, oh, I'm buying it. It's like buying a new car.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong.
Nothing's wrong.
Exactly.
And I'm not even going to go to the extent of, because maybe they're not told that. Maybe they're not educated that way. But I agree with you.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is it's already been 40 minutes and we got to end the show here shortly. And I can't believe how fast time flies.
It goes quick. And
there's so many more questions that I want to ask you. But before we end this podcast, is there one or two advice, right? Cream of the crop. I'm talking about some diamond stuff. Can you give to the audience as far as buying a new home? Like some secrets, like things to look out for, just some tips.
Excellent question. Know what you can afford.
Okay.
Is number one, right? Whether you're deciding yourself or you're going to talk to your financial advisor or a lender or anything like that, know the numbers.
Yeah.
That's number one. Know what you can afford, what your max price is. And that's going to be your biggest guide.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's really what it's all about when it comes down to it, right? That's number one. Number two, understand what you want in your house before you go to your meeting to pick materials.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of go over in your head. Talk to your significant other if you have to. Hey, what kind of floors do we want? What kind of kitchen? How many bedrooms? Do we want a sliding door?
I don't know if you should be asking your girl all that stuff. She's going to spend all your money.
Well, listen,
that's usually what happens, man. So did you do this? They look over at the girl. Like, no, she wanted the upgraded cabinets, and she threw in some things. They were $75,000. It's like, what?
But it's a lot better to have that conversation before, right? Because when you are in the office and you have to pick your materials, that's not the place for that conversation. It's too late.
That makes sense.
Right? So do a little research beforehand. And if you don't know, call either myself or yourself.
Look at that.
And we'll help you out.
Don't call me. Call Danny Lash.
I thought he was going to say, if you don't know, now you know.
Oh, that would have been cool. That would have been slick.
I was like, come on, Lush.
I know.
Finish it strong, buddy.
Dude, I love that name. Look, that kind of sounds sexy. I'm Danny Lash.
That's what we do here.
Dude, that's what you should. Commercial. I'm Danny Lash.
Luscious.
Look, man, unfortunately, the time went by so fast. This was such a great conversation, great information. I would love to bring you back on the show for part 2, and I think that would really be great if you would like to come back on.
I would be more than happy to be back.
Now, also, guys, whenever you guys have some free time, I want you to check out Dan French with Guaranteed Rate. If you guys are interested in purchasing a home, make sure to go to our website, lvhomeexperts.com. Hit that financing tab to get started to purchase your brand new home. Also, Dan has a show every Tuesdays and every Saturdays as well. He talks about real estate and also financing. He has a lot of great guests on his podcast, so check that out. I will have it in the link in the description below. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the LV Home Experts radio show. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Go and check out Danny Lash on Instagram, Facebook. Check out his YouTube. I will also have the link. Also, don't forget to check out Chakits 2.0. That's right. I will have that in the link in the description below. And check us out on Instagram. We need more followers. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Chakits. Peace.
Ooh.